Okay then, so now we're up to the stage where we know what MAME is. MAME is installed on our cabinet or our computer. The Hyperlaunch and Hyperspin both know what's going on with it and what to do with it. It's launching, we can play our games, we've added our wheels. The only thing I think we need to do now to get it up to a normal level would be to add our videos. Now in the download I didn't have that supplied for you, because you can simply just download those from the website. Now you can do it manually, or the easy way to do it is through Hypersync. On one of the previous tutorials I told you how to use Hypersync. It's a very simple program and I'm sure you can work it out on your own, but if not, there's a link on the screen now which will show you how to set it up and make it work as it is, give you some tips and tricks, and also give you a brief outline of the good points and the bad points about Hypersync. But in this case I'm just going to fire it up, show you what you need to download, and then we can move on. Right, so as per normal, head on over to our Hypersync execution, which is in our way of working things in my media drive. So I've got a Hyperspin installed in D drive in the Hyperspin folder, and here is what you will have in your installation, hopefully. Now we go to our Hypersync cloud, and there's Hypersync. Okay, load it up. If you've already set this up like we did in our tutorial, you should have all the bits and bobs already put in there to get things going, and it's just a simple case of telling the computer what it wants to what we need, basically what we want for our version of MAME. So first thing to do first, open up our MAME installation or our MAME settings that we want to use. So find this, find MAME, click onto it, there we go, and this is all my previous settings. Basically I've already got all the art that I need or want for MAME. What I do want is the themes, and I do not want the wheel art. So basically let's start from the top. We do want box art, do not sync because there is none anyway. Do we want cart art? No, do not sync because there is none. Do we want wheel art? No, because I've already given it all the wheels that it wants, and if we do use the wheels enabled on MAME, it will download the standard resolution set of wheels, as in I've installed the widescreen version. If I click this, it will overwrite those wheels with the standard version. I don't want that, so do not sync. Themes, I do want it to sync. Very rarely do I use themes on my wheels. Don't get me wrong, of course I use themes on the system wheels and on the default wheels. In terms of when I'm flicking through the games, do I want it to show the theme for per game? No, in general. However, in terms of arcade, especially the arcade classics, I do want it to show the themes, because the themes are very good. People like Broly, Broly, I'm sure he has made some, THK, and Sub-Zero, who used to be known as Donny, and of course lots of others who, the list is too long to mention. They make some amazing themes, especially for MAME, so I do use them. So my option is, yes, I do want to sync those. Your option, if you don't, you just keep with the standard wheel and themes, but I would suggest that you download the themes. It takes a while because there is quite a few, but it's worth it. Anyway, so I'm going to sync my themes, yes. I don't want to sync the letters because I've already installed those. I don't want to sync the pointer because I've already done those. And I don't want the sounds because they're fucking annoying. So, yep, that's all good. Next, I want to click at the top here. I want to go to the video settings. Do I want to sync videos? Yes, I do. And that is already on, so I don't need to change that. It's a simple question of clicking on the actual box and it will change it. I do want those on. Sync intro videos, it's already got one anyway. I don't think it'll change even if I do. Just for shits and giggles, we will change it. It's a 2-second download. And the main menu, do I want to do the themes? No, definitely not, because I've already put the widescreen variant on there. And do I want to do the main menu wheel? No, because I'm going to add those in a second. Okay, so that I believe is us set up. Do not update the database, and we don't need to drop the system because that would wipe it off on all our settings. So there we go. The only thing it should now be downloading is the videos for each game, the intro for the start, and the themes for the games. It will take a while because MAME is fucking huge, and it has, as you see, you know, 7,000 plus games. So you think of a snippet of video for each one of those plus themes, you're going to be there for a while. So it is handy to get this out the way now, start it downloading, and then we can finish off and titivate the last of our setup. It'll take 2 seconds to actually set it up, but it takes a while for it to download. Right, so that's that done. All we need to do now is put close, heading over to sync, choose the system that I want to use Hypersync for. I'm choosing MAME. I'm putting all media, however, it will take the settings that I've already given it. So it will only download now the themes and the videos, hopefully. I say that now and it'll download everything and it'll do my head in and I'll have to start all over again. But it'll show you where it's downloading anyway. So I will now click begin sync. Oh, my internet is shocking. Apologies guys. Let's log back in. There we go. Sometimes I have to do that. My internet drops in and out and it messes with the program. Begin sync. What the hell's going on here? I do have internet. An update is ready to be installed. Well, the settings will be saved, so this is quite embarrassing, but I'm going to go through it anyway because this is the kind of stuff that does happen. So we'll click out of here. There we go. There's Hypersync now gone. I'm going to re-load it. It tells me it's going to update. Okay. Well, this is actually interesting. Hopefully some big changes have been made. I only knocked out the Hypersync update this morning. So let's hope it's not too big, otherwise I'll be making the whole tutorial or update again. Anyway, so there we go. Nothing seems to have changed anywhere. Let's have a quick browse. No, it all looks the same. It looks like one of those updates that PlayStation 2 Emulator does, where it takes a full stop away from somewhere, or adds a capital letter that it missed out in the initial one. Nothing else seems to have been altered anyway. Just in case, I'm gonna take a look at the MAME setup if I can find it. Sync, do not sync the rest, and it should be videos on. Yeah, that's good to go. Right, let's try again. Hopefully it'll work this time. So I'll take myself over to sync. I choose again MAME. It does my heading. Now this is not put into alphabetical order. Point to note for the people who do make this or have any input in it. Instead of updating full stops and capital letters, why not change this into an alphabetical format? But that's for another video, I suppose. We will put that as MAME. We want to sync all media. Again, as I just said, hopefully it will just sync the ones that we've chosen. I'll begin sync this time, and boom, there we go. It's gone straight to game themes, as we can read there. It's performing synchronization. In other words, what it's doing is it's looking through the database. It's looking for the themes that match up to my system, and there we go. It's found that I have 1,421 themes to download for the full setup. basically. And once that's done, it will then move on to the videos and start downloading them. It will take some time. Obviously we're not going to sit here through it, so what I'm going to do now is minimize this, carry on with the stuff, and by the time all this is done and I've finished this guide for you, it will be complete and I'll give you the demo. Okay, so next phase. Okay then, so now we're up to the stage where you would normally just be left. To be honest, everything's up and running. You've now got MAME working on your Hyperspin. We've converted it to PC Classics because, like I said, I don't understand what MAME is. Well, I do, obviously, but nobody who comes around to play the games know. So I've converted everything to PC Classics, while somebody else has, and I've used the themes. Everything's been converted to widescreen to suit my needs. I've given you as much art as possible to help with your needs. Anything that's not supplied by the download that I give you is hoovered up by the Hypersync. Obviously, if I made the download include everything, it would be quite a considerable download. I think MAME in total incorporates around, I don't know, must be like 30 gigs or something by the time you've got all the bits and bobs put on there. That's Hypersync just finishing off. So now at this moment we are up to the stage where you would be left, right? So let's have a quick look at what we're at so far. We'll run Hyperspin. Wait a second for the drive to sort itself out. And here we are. Okay, Hyperspin's booted. Our intro vid and our widescreen theme is already there and going well. And here we go. Now, as you can see, we have themes to go along with our videos and our games. We have the icons at the bottom, which is more than what everybody else shows in the tutorial, and I've supplied everything that you need. However, I've given you more, and we'll go through that now. Obviously, some games don't have the themes available. It's usually the crap games, to be honest. But you can scroll around, you know, have a look around. All the videos and themes should now be downloaded for you. But there is some bits that do my head in. If you press left and right, obviously you've got the letters and it will transport you straight to that game. But I don't know. I'll show you what I mean now. Anyway, let's start this game and I'll show you where things start to go wrong. Well, it loads straight to the game. It's all too clinical for me, that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to first of all add how can I say, bezels and bezels, fade screen, and to be honest just titivate the overall look of the main theme. And by the time you add all your other systems together, you'll have some kind of uniform theme altogether, so your Hyperspin system doesn't look like a slapdash piece of shit that you've just bought off somebody for an extortionate price. Because that's what they do look like at the end of the day. And the thing is, when you buy one of the drives off people, they can't configure the bits and bobs like this, either because it's over the head, and also you can't configure bits to run on everybody's system. Everyone's is unique. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the bits that they can't do. So here we go. Let's get stuck in anyway. We'll exit out of here. And first of all, we will start with the... let's have a look. What did I give you? Have a look in the download section, in the artwork. Okay. In the sorry, main menu, widescreen, extras. I have given you all the widescreen logos basically. So if you've got a widescreen setup, import all these as I'm going to show you now, and then your main menu as you load up Hyperspin will have logos which are not only nice but they're of a widescreen orientation. So go into your media within your Hyperspin setup, again go to your main menu, go to your images and then wheel, and as you can see there's the default ones that you've got. These are nice, however they are if you're using widescreen then the orientation is all wrong. Sorry, the ratios are all wrong and they will look stretched on the screen. So I think it's Damned Registrations, he made this set. I've altered the names of them so they actually marry up with the systems as best they could. We will go through them as we start adding systems on there, but for now all you need to do is click on one of them, Control A to choose them all, right click, copy. We don't need to keep any of these because to be honest we can download them from anywhere, and all we're going to do is paste. It will overwrite them, or it will ask to overwrite them, and we do want to replace the ones that are there because they look shit. And there you go. Now we have wheels for our main menu. Special, as we said before with the controller layout at the bottom of the screen, so it comes up, it pops up with what features you've got if you press what button. That was only for the default theme, as in the system theme. Sorry, the game themes. So what I've included also is the main menu one. So it tells you to click on the system by pressing this button, blah blah. So go into, again, images, into special, and you will have these by default already in there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete them because they're a bag of shit and they have no place in my system. So again, put these over, there we go, and that now gives you special art at the bottom, which is Xbox 360 related. So there's no point in doing it unless you've got an Xbox 360. If you haven't got an Xbox 360 controller, then just use default or find some that are relevant. Okay, so that's that for now. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure these marry up. I can't remember off the top of my head where these are located. So we need to load up both Hyper HQ takes a second for this to load. As if it ever does load. One of the bugs in Hyperspin is sometimes when you're opening and closing things, it does stay open even though it doesn't show in your bar at the bottom. Sometimes you have to Control Alt Delete, head on down to Task Manager, see if it's still open in there. Doesn't happen very often, but when it does it's very annoying, and there you go, it's done it in this instance. It's probably good to that's what happens, to be honest, so you can see for yourself how annoying that is. All you need to do is close the bottom one and it should close it all down now. When I open it again, although it takes a few seconds, it will load up. I'd say that. Yep, there we go. Okay, now as before when we're setting up our special art, this time we're in the main settings, because all we've done is we've changed the main settings. So what I want to do is I've just added those nice wheels to the main menu, the system menus. So what I want to do is I want to sort all them out. So I'm going to go to wheel. I want to choose the main menu. Emulator, there's no emulator for this because it's the main menu. Wheel, we do want to mess around with this, and I want it to disappear completely. So whenever we stop scrolling up and down the wheels, it disappears gradually and eventually disappears. The wheel size, I want to drop that down to 400 because it seems to be astronomical at this moment in time. I want to keep it at 230. I do want it to be vertical and not the curved. Again, vertical is straight up and down and not the curved round circle that you normally get. It's just neater for me, it's personal preference. So at the end of the day, I do it to be high speed, I want it to be animated. The wheel text and things like that, again, we'll look at in a bit, but I don't think it makes much difference on these. Navigation and themes, no option for that. Don't mess around with this. If it does, point it towards wherever your videos are for it. They will be in the main menu, video file or video folder in the media section of your Hyperspin if you do change it. I don't want it to have stupid sounds anymore because it do me head in. And in terms of special art, we just put our new ones in. Now the only one I want to use from those two is B1. So all I want is that the first one of special artwork B to be enabled. I can't remember off the top of my head the measurements for this, but I know basically the X is how far across the screen it is. So if any of you are avid map readers, you go along the corridor and up the stairs. It's a thing from the army. So basically we go from the left hand side of the screen and we work our way across in measurements. So I want it to go to, I don't know, let's have a go at 650 across the screen. Let's see where that puts us. The Y is up the stairs, so that goes from the bottom of the screen, from the top of the screen down. So I think that's how it works. Anyway, 384 ends up with this piece of art at the bottom of the page. So you don't need to worry about that, just put 384 in there, that never changes. Okay, I want it to come in, and when it's coming in I want it to take 1 second for it to emerge. So what it does, it fades in and it takes 1 second for it to fully appear, and then when it goes out I want it to also take 1 second for it to go. So it's 1 and 1, so it takes 1 second to appear and 1 second to go out. When it does appear I want it to last for 3 seconds, and when it disappears I want it to disappear for 3 seconds. So I've put the measurement across the pages, I've told it how high and how low I want it to be. It's now, it takes a second for it to load up and a second for it to go away, and it's on for 3 seconds and it's gone for 3 seconds. Hopefully that should make sense to you. I have tried to play with these before, but they don't seem to do anything. So keep it as fade and keep that to none, and we'll test this now to see what changes that has made, and hopefully we should be around. On the main menu I like this to be in the center, not on the left hand side as you could see before. It's just I like it to be below the video. So let's see where these appear. Yep, as you can see it's too far left, so what we need to do is increase the number. So it's trial and error really. Exit out of here. I'm sure there's a simpler way to do this, but this is the way I do it. Of course, once I've done it, you'll all know what the number is anyway. Oh, it's like a big game, isn't it? Okay, let's try 800. This may go too far, but we won't know until we do it. Oh, no, we're close. I reckon 950 now. So gone down the bottom here. 950. Okay. Load that up again. It's so annoying doing this. That's why I put the shortcut to the bottom of the screen on my normal setup when I'm doing things like this. We've gone too far. It must be 900. It's got to be. Please, by the gods of games, tell me it's 900. Please be about center, just for the purpose of this trial. My OCD is kicking in, and it needs to be, I don't know, 870? This is it, whatever happens now anyway, is 870. You can spend hours getting this as close to the center as you can, but I'm going for 870, and God strike me down if this isn't correct. Please don't strike me down. Boom. I'm happy. I'm happy. It probably could do with going left a little tiny bit, but I'm happy. But you see the kind of thing that you gotta work with. once this is set up, basically when I go through every system, it's always the same, always in the middle. However, my universal theme that I like to use has the videos on the main menu smack bang in the middle, so it all marries up and it all looks good. And as you start to add more systems, it will start to look more uniform, more clean and more professional, not some shitty little piece of, I don't know, hard drive that you just bought off some guy in an attic who likes showing country and western movies to us before he shows his movie. Anyway, enough of that. Right, so now we've got our menu set up, we've got our main menu wheel going up and down. Now we need to start looking at fade. Okay then. Okay, so let's see how to set the fade up. Right, open up Hyperlaunch. Wrong. Open up Hyperlaunch HQ with our shortcut that we made previously. Okay, now we're greeted with, well, it looks like an abundance of tabs and information. It's quite simple once you get knowing what's going on, you get used to all this stuff. Right, this time what we're going to do is we're going to set it up for everything first. We're going to make some kind of global choices on this. So we're going to go to global settings. That means that if we run anything from these and it says set as global, so let's have a look. For example, settings, see, use global, use global, use global. So whatever we set up for global, when we go onto a system, if it says that, then it's going to use the same as every other system uses. So unless you've got anything special going on for each system, you can do that. So the easiest way to set everything in a wanna and save you going for any trouble is to choose global. Obviously if you've already done this and you like your setup, then just use these settings for this system if you want to use these settings. I'll show you what settings I mean. Basically what I want is this overall theme. This is my Hyperspin, my original Hyperspin, which I'm working on at the moment in the current update. As you can see, when it's loading, it gives a little splash screen that loads up. It gives the information about when it was done, so on and so forth. And it, you know, it highlights a bit more. It still needs a bit of work, but with a, there you go. And there's a fade out. As you can see, it's all running smooth in my setup. There are tips and tweaks that I still need to do because it is just an updated setup from my old version of Hyperspin. I'm constantly just reincarnating Hyperspin. However, yeah, so let's try and get some kind of order into setting up the fade screen then. So in the new one, you used to have to do this in the settings files, but in the new Hyperlaunch HQ, you can actually do this in Hyperspin itself. So what we're looking at, we're going into global settings, we're going into fade general. So global settings, fade general. And as you can see, let me just make sure I'm Yep. We have all this going on. Do you want it enabled? Fade in? Yes, I do want it enabled. I want it to be a default animated fade in. Yes, yes, yes. I do want it to fade out. Some emulators don't like it, but it's trial and error. You only have to do it once, and then all the rest of your games are all set up with the same settings. So there we go. We're going to go for that and see how it goes. Next to the actual settings, there is an explanation about what each one of these what they mean basically. Right, so we've done fade in general. That seems to be working okay. Now what we need to set up is the font and so on and so forth. So at the top you need to set in your whatever font, i.e. the bar that was going across the lower of the screen here, add a special font. Choose whatever font you want. Mine seems to have one that I like already on there. I want it to be all these settings. It looks like it all comes in as default anyway, which is nice. It's all pretty much default and set in there anyway. All you have to do is actually enable it by the looks of it, and then you set up. Okay, and I want the animation to be default. I want it to be image and bar. 7-zip progress to be true. That's if you're using a disk system or something that takes up a lot of hard drive. I like to 7-zip my games, so basically it decompresses them during the fade sequence. So it's a nice little, it's not just a black screen while you're waiting for the game to load. It shows you how far it's gone and how far it's left to go. And all these settings, basically if yours isn't the same, then if you want the same as me, just choose everything that's on this screen right now. But I think everybody should be kind of set up to default. The only ones that you really want to be playing with is this section here, and then the rest of it should be set as default. There we go. Okay, while we're here, I'm also going to enable bezel. You can, if you want to. I'm going to show you how to do bezels. So, if you want to use them, do it. If not, don't. If we're going to use the bezel, we also need to change it in the modules. However, first of all, I want to make sure that the fade screen is working correctly. So, we've set it all up in Hyperlaunch HQ. Now what we need to do is give it the actual media to launch it, because at the moment it will most probably just load. Let's have a look what it's already got in there. For the media for the fade, you go into your, again as always, Hyperspin root folder, into the media. Then you will have a folder within the media called fade. Go into there and you will have basically this. And if you haven't got this, it is included in my there we go, fade and bezel. So all you need to do basically is, I'll show you, copy these two folders into there, replace anything in the destination, yes. Click out of there. Now all the media that I've given you is included in there, so we've now got the fade hopefully set up, and we have the bezel already included. So now when I go to my Hyperlaunch HQ, go to my MAME. Let's test it in here first, so we're not messing around. What can we play this time? Just for a demo. Where's Street Fighter? I like Street Fighter. Street Fighter 2. I don't know. Let's see what this loads anyway. Let's see what loads up. Oh, there you go. So now we've got everything working as it should. It's loaded a quick bits and bobs. It's now loading the game. We don't seem to have any bezels, but I think I know what that is. To you. So there you go. I've included all that kind of stuff. What we need to do is the fade in general. I want to go to global settings, fade general. I want the duration to be longer. These last in, I think it's milliseconds, so basically that's in milliseconds how long it takes for fade to appear and disappear. Yeah, it takes 500 milliseconds for it to appear and disappear. However, I want it to delay for a while as well, to stay up so I can gather the information. You can put things like control options or any information regarding that system actually in there. We'll go on that in later things. At the moment we're just showing the basics. So I want that to be up for, I don't know, 6,000. In my mind that's too long, so we're going to go for 5,000. 1, 2, 3. In my mind that's now up for 5 seconds. I'm probably completely wrong. So now when I go to MAME, and I go to games, and I go, let's have a look again. I'm not going to look for Street Fighter again, but I do want a horizontal type game. Oh god. Alpine Racer, let's see. These probably don't even work. I don't even know what Amigo is. Let's have a look. So now, as you can see, it's taking longer for it to splash. I know it looks annoying and things like that, but that's the way it is. I like to see things. And there we go. There's our arcade game running. It's took a while for it to load up. I'm not sure if I put the fade on the exit screen as well. I will change that to the same as well. Ah, I did do. So that should hopefully stay up for just 5 seconds and then fade out gradually. Yep. Happy with that. And now we can move on to, I don't know, let's have a look at another further option that you can make, as in some people like this, some people don't. However, I like my arcade games, classics, to look like classics basically. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples. If you like it, then well, basically you can do what I do. If not, keep it as it is and you've already set it up anyway. So let's have a look. Let's exit out of here. And what we'll do is we'll have a look at my actual current setup of Hyperspin. Now have a look at the way the game's playing. We're gonna love Street Fighter because everybody knows what that looks like normally anyway. So I should have done for T and gone down, shouldn't I? As you can see, there's so many games available for me. Oh, killing me. Street Fighter, Street Fighter. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be looking at Street Fighter 3. I'm going to be loading that up. Now look at the way the screen projects at me.
This is Street Fighter Alpha 3.
See, I can change my bezel now. So ignore the actual bezels on the background. It's nothing to do with the actual bezels, it's the actual way the screen comes at you, like with the scan lines, it looks aged, all that kind of stuff. If you want that, then all you need to do is cut and paste. Basically, let's have a look. See where it says old screen in the download? Go to extras, old screen, and in there you will have these. This is thanks to Gigapig, by the way. Thank you very much for this. It looks great, to be honest. All you need to do is copy and paste all these. So again, copy, and then go to your emulator, your MAME emulator. So we copied ours to D drive in media, Hyperspin. Go to your emulator, go to the actual emulator that we're on about, and you will see you've already got these folders here. What it's going to do is overwrite everything within there. So right click, paste, replace everything in the destination. Yes, I do want to replace everything in the destination. Okay, now as you can see, it's replaced files in those three things. What we're replacing is the HLSL. Basically that's the images that make the game, it changed the way MAME looks, and you can make it look like the old arcade monitors, which is what I like, to be honest. I never used to like it. I used to try and get the best graphics possible, but when you play games from systems like AAE, where the light is reflecting round, it really takes on a different persona when you're using it through MAME, to be honest, and it's worth taking advantage of it. So what I've done now is I've enabled that. However, we also have to go one stage further. So, I've loaded the wrong one. Ignore this for a second. Okay, so we'll come out of there. Right, go back to our Hyperlaunch HQ, the shortcut that we made. And there we go. Right, within Hyperlaunch HQ, now what we need to do, we need to tell MAME that we want to use the settings that we've just put in there. So, go to MAME, go to the Modules tab, click on the MAME because that's the one we want to change, and up here you will have various icons. You want to click on Edit Global Module Settings. Basically, modules are the translation between the like we talk about, basically the translation between the Hyperlaunch and the emulator to launch them in things in specific ways. So we need to tell it that we want to launch it with the HLSL, like we just talked about, that folder. So we need to say true. Yes, true. And then what we need to do is go on to MAME and then tell it again. Do you want to load it with these? Yes, we do. Of course we do. Don't question me twice. Then we should be able to click out of here. Now hopefully, with the gods of HLS, whatever it is, I don't even know what it stands for, but it works. Hopefully now when I launch a game, you will see a different effect on the screen. So now let's have a look at 1943. Please work. Please work. That's all I can say for now. There you go. As you can see, it now looks a bit more like a monitor, albeit ignore the fact that it's all... Ignore the fact of the way its orientation, because it's a vertical scroller, so it's got a squish screen. When we go on to something like Street Fighter, like we just seen on our previous ones, Street Fighter. I got no idea what Street Fighter this one is. There's that many of them. Let's have a look. You'll be able to see the effect that it's made now on the screen. There you go. You see the scan lines? You see how there's like a little glare around the actual around the setup of it all.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Hadouken!
Okay, so now I've given you everything. The only thing left to do is bezels, but I think we've gone on far too much with this video. I've basically got you from having just Hyperspin installed to having the MAME gubbins of MAME set up, or PC Classics. From here we can now progress into adding AAE, Zinc, Neo Geo, and countless other emulators, all using the same emulator. They will not take, well, it's a 10-minute setup for each one of those from now, because we've already got the MAME set up as an emulator, and a lot of other systems use MAME as an emulator basically. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut this one off. I'm going to give you a quick demo of Hyperspin, what you've got so far, or should hopefully have so far. Let me launch this up. So this is what you've got now. You've got obviously the intro. We'll look at changing that in a few more tutorials. You've got a lovely new set of main menu wheels. It doesn't make annoying sounds anymore, thank God. We'll go into the arcade classics that we set up. You've got your widescreen themes, intros in there. You've now got the themes working in conjunction with Hyperspin and MAME. Nice, nice. It's all working. And now when we click on something, it all works seamless. So let's choose a nice game. I don't know. I'm sure there was an old Star Wars game that looked good. Oh, again, let's go for T this time. We can go backwards, it's easier. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. I've probably just gone past it, haven't I? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, this video's gone on for ages. Let's load up this for the sake of it. See, you've got your splash screen, good. You've got all the information running. And now, the game loads and it looks like it used to back in the day. My heart is weeping right now. Well, it's been a long tutorial. I pull no punches with that, guys. It's the fact that it does take a while, but it's one of the core systems that you have to set up. Once you've got this set up, you've got 50% of it set up. There is two more systems which are core systems in my eyes. Once you've got those set up, you've almost got the complete collection going. So there's, I'd say, two more hard slugs after this one, and then we've got the core. Then we can start booming in systems from all sides. So I thank you if you've bared with it all the way through it. My apologies if you've got lost or anything like that. If you've got any input, any questions or anything like that, you can get in touch with me on Facebook. You can PM me on the Hyperspin website. Well done, guys. Well done for getting this far. Okay then, you lot have a good day. Please like and subscribe. It's what makes it worth a while for me, and it means that I know people are actually listening to me. And thank you very much. I hope in the next day or two to be releasing the complete guide for setting up RetroArch. That will wipe out about 30 systems in one fell swoop. So stick with it, make sure you like and subscribe, and well, we'll see you again, guys. Bye.